Hello and welcome to 0 Point Energy, where there's 0 point what we talk about and just as much energy. I'm Sean.
I'm Jorge.
Yay, Jorge! And
What the fuck was that?
anyways, I'm having fun. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Tonight we just watched finally. I know it's been a few months now. Godzilla versus Kong. And we're going to give a little review on it. And it was a fucking awesome movie.
Yes, it was. It was a great movie. It could have been more.
It could have been more, but I enjoyed it.
I'm not saying it was bad. It was just, it was good. It was enjoyable. It's not what I'm used to from the new Toho verse or American Toho verse. What are they calling this thing?
The Monster Universe.
Okay, fine. Monster Universe.
The legendary Monster Universe.
Okay, fine. I mean,
Like, what have you not been? You said you didn't see Skull Island.
I didn't.
So you missed one of the best movies of the franchise so far.
I didn't see Skull Island, but I saw Godzilla versus Ghidorah and what's it called? The basic.
So you saw Godzilla 2014. You skipped Skull Island, and you watched King of the Monsters.
Yes.
And then Godzilla vs. Kong. So what have you learned to expect from it? You've got a good but shitty movie, a really good movie that you've seen.
Wait, why was Godzilla
2014?
Why was that a shitty movie? I like that movie.
Because Godzilla's in it for 5 minutes.
That was the best part. No, I'm kidding. I know. Okay, for me, the story was a lot more attention grabbing in the 2014. Then King of the Monsters, it was all action, but it still had the good story. This one was just trying to interweave stories very, very badly.
Now see, I would say the 2014 one was too much story. Normally I'm not all nitpicky about the fact that there's the human characters, and they're trying to make the humans the main characters of these movies, despite naming them after the monsters. But 2014 is super hyped up as a Bryan Cranston movie, and he dies early in the movie.
Yeah.
Then all the scenes with his son are boring.
Yeah.
And then we get Godzilla for hardly any amount of screen time.
Yes, but okay. For me, the story is the important part. Okay, it keeps my attention. It gets me focused and actually makes me want to see more of the movie. You know what I mean?
But it had the most boring story of all of these movies so far.
I disagree. I mean,
its entire plot had nothing to do with Godzilla.
Mostly, I'll agree with you there.
That one was a movie that's only about the human characters, and Godzilla exists in their world.
Okay. Speaking about that, okay, yes, the human characters had more story and the like, and to me, that kept my attention. This one had barely any story. Legit, it was just throw a bunch of images at you and fucking guess.
Because they assumed you'd watch the other 4 movies in the franchise.
4?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
3.
I was gonna say, we only mentioned 4 right now with this one.
But you missed an entire movie. So you missed a chunk of the story. The movie that ties all the other movies together, if you miss one, that's like watching Endgame and all of that, like watching the last 2 fucking Marvel MCU movies, but not watching any of the Iron Man movies.
Okay, but keep in mind, I could have read the comics instead. I'm joking. I know.
You get what I mean?
I do.
You missed the standalone Kong movie, so you missed the Kong lore. So now when you have people talking about both Godzilla lore and Kong lore, you're lost with some point of it.
Okay, let's talk about what we saw in this movie, okay? We got Kong. He was thrown into the center of the earth, hollow earth, whatever you want to call it. And somehow it's some kind of wormhole or some shit into the center of the earth. That was some weird shit. I mean, really. Not just falling into the earth. No, you're going through basically a Stargate, and then you're in a topsy-turvy world of beautiful jungle and horrible monsters.
It's the veil. It's what keeps normal people out.
What is it with human writers and like just the veil? And yes, I'm human. I know I'm saying human writers. You get my point. Like legit, the veil. There's the veil between living and the dead. The veil between like the land of gods and humans, and like there's always the veil. Why is it the veil? Why can't it be the curtain?
Because it's a pretty single syllable word for saying boundary.
But like you can barely. Okay, I get it. You can kind of see through it. You can't. You kind of know it's there, kind of not. But no, it's like.
Yes, exactly. It's
Fuck you.
a boundary, but it's easy to pierce. It's a veil.
Okay, fine. Help me set foot in the afterlife.
No.
Yes, there's a veil. I can go through it. Help me.
I mean, you can, but it kind of requires a toaster and a bathtub.
Okay, we're not watching freaking what was it? The Beaver movie, Groundhog Day.
There's a company that makes toaster-shaped bath bombs.
Oh my god!
It's so you can take a toaster bath without the shocking conclusion.
That is so broken. That is so wrong. That was funny, but no. Just god damn.
I found that out earlier today on TikTok.
God damn it, my TikTok. I fucking hate TikTok.
Hey, why? Why do you hate TikTok so much?
I don't know. It just seems pointless. It's like some of the videos are actually pretty good. Others, I'm just like, why? Just why? Like the dance thingies and like no, like freaking the ones you show me about these weird facts and shit, or the ones I send you. Like, but I don't watch it on TikTok. I watch it on freaking YouTube Shorts.
Right. Which is just TikToks.
Yeah, TikTok, but less tick thoughts.
Only slightly.
Okay, we're back on task. Okay.
Remember, your preferences on YouTube, my preferences on YouTube, they show me a different bunch of shorts than what yours shows you.
Okay, look, let's not get into our personal preferences and just go back to the big hairy ape and the big scaly lizard.
That sounds like some of my relationships.
I don't want to know. They don't want to know. If you want to know, talk to him, not me. Okay, so, by the way, like, comment, subscribe. Okay. Where were we? God damn it. Okay. We were talking about... Right. Okay. You obviously you don't know, but we were having this discussion after Kong and everybody goes into the center of the earth, where apparently these guys outdate humans, and the Earth supposedly formed around Hollow Earth, and
that's my theory.
Yeah, that's his theory.
It makes sense.
It makes sense, but nothing here makes sense because there was a tribe of intelligent giant apes in the center of the Earth, and I'm not saying that can't happen. What I'm saying is Kong doesn't really act that smart except for the sign language thing. I'm not saying he's not smart, just don't know how far. And then from there, hold on, let me finish. So then we have a bunch of different structures created by these Kong family ancient ape dudes, and we have nothing else explained. Like, these guys apparently were stoneworkers. They could make coliseums, they could make freaking stages, and some kind of advanced, like, energy absorbing axe.
Well, they didn't make the axe energy absorbing. Like, all they did was they took a chunk of the rock that happens to absorb the radiation and make it into an axe head.
Okay, but then also they had like some kind of like activating light thingy that showed freaking Godzilla's torso wrapping around the throne of the Kongs.
Yeah, it's basically their guard dog.
That doesn't make sense if they kept fighting.
Well, dogs bite.
That still doesn't make sense because even then, frickin' Godzilla is then connected to the actual rock. Oh, right, spoilers. So, just letting you know, spoilers.
Yes, we're doing a review of the entire movie. I think that's obvious. There's going to be some fucking spoilers.
Okay, so something happened, and then something else happened, and it was really awesome, and then something. No, my point is, for somehow Godzilla's connected to this cosmic space rock glowing thingy that the axe is made of, and there's a bunch of rocks of it all over the place in Hollow Earth. I almost called it Middle Earth.
Because Godzilla is the king of the monsters, and he's the defender of Earth. But Kong is king of
Middle
Under Earth, Center Earth, Hollow Earth,
Middle Earth.
Middle Earth. He's the last king of Gondor.
Okay. That would fit so well. Okay. But seriously, I mean, obviously it looks like these guys had a big civilization and actually...
Well, didn't they get to Easemir?
No. Maybe.
It was broken, and then we got put back together, not absorbs radiation.
Okay, you're reaching now. Just moving on. Look, the axe and like the connection of the rock to Godzilla, it just seems a little too connected, and it doesn't seem properly connected. I mean, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, why ancient smart Kongs against Godzillas? Like, I understand the whole alpha. There can only be one theory. That makes sense. But there was an ancient rivalry here, and somehow this axe, the rock, and Godzilla are connected. Godzilla is actually powered by the rock. Their energies match in terms of color. I mean, this doesn't make any sense.
It does make sense.
Explain it then.
Okay.
The people want to know.
So the Kong came first,
Yes.
and then eventually radiation affected the planet. Now it could be solar radiation, cosmic radiation.
Hold on. Are you saying this is actual story, or you're pulling this out of your ass again?
I'm pulling this out of my ass.
God damn it! No.
There is no actual story.
Toho, send me the story, please, or Warner Brothers, the other
Toho
people.
didn't make these movies. This is Warner Brothers and Legendary.
Fine then, both of y'all, send me some scripts.
So this is America and China bastardizing legendary Japanese monsters. So we gotta make some shit up.
Fine.
But they're doing it good. You gotta make some shit up for the filler. No, I'm making this shit up. Okay? No. Like, radiation affects the planet. It basically creates this super dinosaur, Godzilla.
Okay.
And Godzilla proceeds to basically rule the outer planet. And then he makes his way to the inner planet, where the Kongs are. And the Kongs, they have this giant stone. It's kind of their power source. It's probably what makes them super intelligent. Well, they realize that it can defend them against the power of Godzilla. So they make a weapon that gets more powerful by absorbing the power from Godzilla. So, every time Godzilla uses his nuclear breath to try to kill them, they block it with the axe, supercharge the axe, and then kick the living shit out of Godzilla.
Okay, so I get that. That kind of makes sense. Okay, they beat the crap out of Godzilla, and because of Godzilla's big uber healing thing, he can probably stay alive. So, would that mean that all the generations of Kongs have defeated the same Godzilla?
No, I want to say at some point Godzilla went into rest mode, which is probably around the time Ghidorah showed up. And Ghidorah took over the surface world, and his weird alpha control thought wave thing that made everybody subservient to him, except Godzilla, basically affected the Kongs too. But
Okay.
not the way you would think. Like, it made them close off the Hollow Earth.
So it made the Kongs isolationist. Okay.
Right.
Makes sense. Kinda. Maybe.
But since obviously their power source also draws and awakens Godzilla, since they isolated themselves, they isolated him from his power. So he had no way of recharging himself because he wasn't fighting with them all the time.
This is what I don't like.
So he stayed dormant for years, but Ghidorah had his way, and then the asteroid that wipes out the dinosaurs happens, kills everything, puts everybody dormant, and then humans. And because of humans and nuclear war and all that fun shit, Godzilla happens again. Because the nuclear weapons and nuclear submarines and nuclear powered ships, they basically jumpstart Godzilla. And because of Godzilla being alive and his power running rampant, from the Godzilla 2014 movie, it triggers the events that reawaken Ghidorah, which leads to all the monsters falling under Ghidorah's control again, Godzilla having to fight against him.
God damn it. Okay, look. But that's the thing. Like, this power source is nuclear, kind of, and it has anti-grav abilities or whatever. Okay. Godzilla, we know from the earlier movies, runs on nuclear energy. Like radiation, whatever you want to call it. So,
Right.
how does this anti-grav equal radiation, number one? And number two, in the earlier movie, we know that Godzilla has his own, like, ancient city that, like, humans, I think they used to worship him or something like that. And,
Right.
like, it's all radioactive and shit. So, that was his quote-unquote resting place. So, I mean, why would he need the one or be connected to the energy source in Hollow Earth with the Kongs?
Because the Hollow Earth energy source is infinite. Because it's a giant space rock at the center of the Earth. The one he made himself, which is basically just a giant cave filled with nuclear waste. It's a nest he made himself.
That is so weird.
It's his recharging point that he got from gathering up the nuclear waste from the oceans. Like every time a nuclear submarine disappeared, that was him ripping the reactor out of one.
Okay, fine. But at the same time, again, if the Kongs, if in your theory came first, then that energy source should be all theirs. It shouldn't be connected to Godzilla at all.
But it attracts him.
But it doesn't make sense. Okay, in order for something to be able to utilize an energy source...
Why do we go out in the sun?
I don't, I'm a goth.
Yes, you do go out in the sun.
I
You
don't
have
like
to.
to, I know.
Why?
Because vitamin D and other bullshit.
Right. But why do people get so happy that we hate going out in the sun? Why is it that you spend 6 months out of the year cooped up in the house because of winter? When the sun comes out, everybody has to go outside.
I don't know. I don't go outside. I don't really like to.
Well, see, I can tell you why. It's because the giant nuclear ball of death that is 93 million miles away from us in the sky
Also known as one astronomical unit.
attracts us. Its energy draws us towards it. Kind of like the giant blue space rock at the center of the Earth attracts Godzilla.
That doesn't mean they have the same energy resonance or whatever the fuck they call it.
We don't have the same energy resonance as the fucking sun, but we're drawn to it. We're attracted to it.
We evolved with it. He did not evolve with the giant space rock.
He adapted to the giant space rock.
Fuck you.
And technically, since the giant space rock is at the center of the Earth, he did evolve with the giant space rock.
Didn't you just
Because
say he ruled the outside?
He's on the outside. It's on the inside. Which means it was there first, which means his entire evolution happened within the existence of the blue rock.
And then what? He adapted to the yellow sun and uranium and all that shit?
Yes. He's powered by radiation.
No
It
matter
doesn't
if it's
have to.
anti-grav.
It's any kind of radiation. So the cosmic blue stone is just a form of radiation. It's the best form of radiation. It's the preferred form of radiation. But plutonium works just as well.
Fine.
You just need a shit ton of plutonium. You need a fist-sized pebble of blue rock.
Okay, fine. Moving on. Some other sci-fi bullshit. When the, what's it called, evil daughter of the evil dude went into the center of the earth and then analyzed a little bit of the rock, then transmitted it up to the, what's it called, to the manufacturing center for Mechagodzilla. Oh yeah, spoiler, Mechagodzilla. And they literally can just make it. That's some bullshit. Like, you cannot just analyze and then replicate. It's the same kind of okay, not literally the same, but literally the same kind of bullshit that you do with cameras in, like, CSI shows and shit. Enhance, enhance, enhance. No, that's not how that works. There's resolution.
One enhance cliche.
In this case, it's make shit up cliche, or bullshit cliche. And you know what I mean. You cannot just create something after seeing it. It takes years or maybe months to actually replicate something in the lab.
Maybe.
Motherfucker.
We're talking about people who had working spider drones that had laser drills. People who created anti-gravity flying machines that could hold multiple passengers. And then it had just one that had 4. They were armed.
They were prototypes.
They were armed. You don't make a prototype aircraft and put weapons on it. That's for later. You don't make 4 or 5 of them. You don't train multiple pilots.
It probably isn't that hard. I mean, if it's anti-gravity, it's just hover.
No, because now you have all 4 points of movement.
Okay, fine. That would be harder.
And there's a reason why being a helicopter pilot requires you to already be a plane pilot.
I was gonna say, "Arr, matey."
But yeah, to go get a helicopter pilot's license, you need to already have the certification to fly a regular aircraft.
Fine. Where were we?
Talking about Jesus Rock and the evolution of Godzilla and the fact that they made a fake Godzilla. And
Oh yeah, that's another thing.
They
Fake
mimicked
Godzilla.
Jesus Rock
Why are you calling it Jesus Rock?
because it's like Jesus Coon that can do anything.
That is so far of a fucking stretch. No, that's just no.
Okay. What do we know about the Blue Rock?
It's pretty.
It's plot.
Oh my god.
What
You're
makes the
using the
Blue Rock
plot-
special? Plot.
You're using the plot argument to call it Jesus Rock. What the fuck is
Well-
wrong with you?
Look, Jesus Coon, Kirito.
Kirit. Oh my.
There are 2 Kiritos here. 2. We got the one from Gundam Seed. And we've got the one from Sword Art. Okay. So, what makes Kirito so special? Plot.
Yeah.
What's his special power?
Plot.
Right. The power of plot compels you, Jesus Coon. Jesus Rock.
No, God, no. Jesus,
You
no.
say no all you want. We have examples of this. Our weeby asses have been living with this for the last decade or so. I'm almost 40. I've been dealing with this shit since I was a teenager.
Okay, moving on.
I come up with a lot more examples than the two Kiritos.
Just, I can accept Jesus Kun. I cannot accept Jesus Rock. Let's just, no. Anyways.
Okay, come up with a different name for it.
Unobtainium, how's that?
The plot boulder.
The plot boulder. Fine then, plutonium. How's that? Plutonium.
Plutonium. That's it. That's what we're going to call it.
God damn it, I was kidding.
Plutonium. I like it.
Oh god. I need to be drinking for this. God damn. Okay.
We don't need to drink for this shit. This is us sober. Can you imagine what this would be if us drinking? Oh, I already know what this would be if us drinking. Well, help me because I'm sober. But this would be Death and Robots all over again.
Oh god. Okay, moving on. What were we? Plutonium. Okay, so another thing about plutonium, they made it in the lab, and then comes in Mechagodzilla that doesn't work properly because they only have capacity or usage of about 40% of energy, whatever they're using, I guess electricity. And then we find out later on, thanks to our intrepid podcasters, not unlike us, what's his name? Bernie, Maddie, and the kid from Deadpool. I forgot his name in the movie. Jack? Josh. There we go. Josh. So, they find out that Mechagodzilla is made with the brain of Ghidorah. One of the heads of Ghidorah. They somehow made it grow...
It's definitely not Steve.
What the fuck, Steve? Huh?
Oh. When Ghidorah gets the head cut off,
yeah.
When it regrows back and it's all derpy, it's Steve.
Is this some kind of meme that I missed or something?
No, that's actual production notes. The actual, like, all three of the main heads have legitimate names. And the derpy head that replaces the one head is Steve.
What the fuck? Okay. What? And the middle one is frickin' Lawrence?
No, they have Japanese names. I forget what his name is.
Why did they call it? I don't want... I'm shutting up. Okay. Moving on. So, yes, it's returning back to moving on. So, we have the skull of one of the Ghidorahs. Somehow they coaxed it to grow and make nerves and tentacles and make
No, it still has some of the DNA on it. Basically, tapping into its bone marrow and what little bit of brain is left of it to basically make a living quantum computer. Because brains are basically quantum computers.
That's not how that works.
Brains, human brains specifically, but brains in general, are capable of processing petabytes of information instantaneously.
Okay, we're not going... Fine, we're doing this. Okay, look. You're not wrong. You're just not quite right.
Exactly.
Like, God damn it. Listen, you're not wrong. You're just not quite right in terms of the brain can process amazing amounts of information. It's true. But it's on the underneath of the brain. It's the unconscious that can do that, not the consciousness. Number one. Hear me out. There's a point I'm making with this. Okay, so number two. All that's left of Ghidorah is basically the unconsciousness. So you would be right, except for one thing. Once they connect the power source, which again, why the fuck would it be able to run on electronics? It's not electricity, it's radiation. Number one. Number two. Then it's Ghidorah taking over Mechagodzilla's body. There's not enough of Ghidorah left to be Ghidorah. It should be just basically all ego, all like eating like a zombie.
The personality.
Okay, man.
It's a copy of the main base personality, which is what?
I dominate.
Yes. And what did the Mechagodzilla do? As soon as they hooked plutonium to it? Dominate.
Yeah, fine.
So...
But he should be able to control the thing. That doesn't make
It's
sense.
a copy of his brain in a robot body. It's fucking RoboCop.
Kind of, not exactly, because it was psionically connected, not literally in the body.
It's a copy of his brain. The digital copy of his brain.
That still does not make sense.
It's a cyborg body.
Okay, you would be lucky if he could walk. There's no way he should be able to have the programming or whatever you want to call it to actually move that body because it's all programming. It's not biological programming. That doesn't make sense.
He was semi-conscious every time he was being piloted. That's physical therapy.
God damn it! Oh my God! You are reaching so hard right now, dude. No,
That makes sense, though.
it makes sense.
He had a therapist.
Badly.
He had a therapist helping him to move his arms and legs, teaching his brain what the signals are to move the arms, the legs, to fire the breath weapon, to use the shoulder weapon. He was going through physical therapy with every single test run. And then plutonium jump-started him so he could do it on his own.
God damn it, plutonium thing. Okay.
The power of plutonium!
God. Okay.
This is going to come into every one of these movie reviews. They're going to find plutonium in every movie we watch now.
God damn it. Okay, moving on. Okay, so
We need to go back to anime reviews. There's plutonium every episode.
oh god. Okay. God damn it. What were we talking about? Right, the brain. Okay, look, just fine. I can accept the physical therapy, reaching, but fine. But plutonium, like powering him up, makes no fucking sense. Like legit.
Why not?
Like, because he's not made to run on that. He was technically made to run on electricity, only it was unstable.
What is a brain?
Motherfucker, no.
A brain is a lump of flesh powered by electrical impulses.
Yes, powered by...
What does the plutonium do? Creates massive amounts of electrical impulses.
I disagree. Hear me out, okay? What do you call it? A brain is a lump of flesh that runs on electrochemical impulses, not just electric, electrochemical. If you're right and plutonium is like the ultimate electrical power source, it's only electricity.
Well, what's in all those other tubes that we're going into?
Hydraulic fluid?
Chemicals.
Motherfuckers.
Why do those tubes glow? Electricity. Electrochemicals.
No, it's because humans like bright lights and shit. Why do you think everybody had a light bright as a kid? Not literally, but you know what I mean.
I had a light bright. I had a huge light bright. Hey, 2 of those. That's 4 of those. That's 5.
Why? No, you know what? We're talking about the movie. We're not talking about you.
Well,
Okay.
I liked the light brights. They were fun.
They were fun, but
Okay. Multicolored curse words. Just let them flash in a window.
I need to keep my mouth shut about
I literally had a whole window of my house that for a week straight just flashed on and off. Go fuck yourself all day long.
Why?
Because I was 11 and I hated people.
You were 11, not even a teenager. Oh god.
You don't have to be a teenager to realize the world is a shitty place and humans are evil.
Oh god. Okay, moving back. Okay. Oh god. Moving. Okay, back to the movie. Okay, after Skull Island, we have the beginning of the movie with Kong in this like huge ass coliseum, which is his habitat that he has outgrown and really fucking hates. Literally, when he grabbed that tree and then like cleared all the branches off of it, I thought it was a fucking walking stick. Dude looks ancient.
Well, yeah. It's been 40 some odd years since we last saw him. He was only a teenager then.
He was a teen. So he was in his 50s.
Kong Skull Island takes place shortly after Vietnam.
Oh Jesus!
And he was an adolescent, so I think they say he's equivalent to a teenager. So you figure he's a teenager in like 1973, 1974, and now it's what they say it was 10 years since since Godzilla emerged. So in 2024 to 1974, what 40, 50 years?
50 years.
50 years. So the 50. I mean, the Kong is in his 60s at best.
Yeah, he looked older than that. Just yeah.
Well, he did spend the entirety of Ghidorah's invasion fighting everything on Skull Island, trying to get off the island to go to Ghidorah. Instead of the normal one or two skull crawlers and occasional bat, he fought the entire island simultaneously and won.
I'm not saying he's not a badass. I'm just saying he's old.
You're gonna look pretty goddamn old when you go through that much shit in, what, 3 years?
Okay.
Like, you got 40 years of peace, and then one day, oh yeah, everything that I kick the shit out of on a daily basis is trying to kick the shit out of me all at once.
Okay, so he's like an old man in prison. Good to know.
Right.
So, from there, we have the little girl who somehow apparently learned or taught Kong how to do sign language, or what was the deal with it? Like, it seemed like either the little girl taught him or the woman Eileen taught him, and then he just didn't. Huh?
Both. The woman was teaching him, but he refused to acknowledge her, but he acknowledged the kid.
Ah, okay.
Because the kid is a native of Skull Island. And during Ghidorah's storm, Kong saved her. He tried to save all the natives, but the monsters in the storm killed them all. Except for her.
So she's the last one of the Iwi people?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that makes her story a lot more sad. Okay.
Which is why Kong likes her. Because she's his people.
Like, I knew she was a native, I just didn't know she was Iwi. I thought they were all dead. And then, yeah.
See, you weren't paying attention to the movie.
I tried. I really fucking tried. There was not enough plutonium in the goddamn movie.
I think there's too much plutonium that you just kind of pay attention to it all.
Fuck you. No, like, legit. I knew that he liked her and he saved her. I just didn't know she was Iwi. I thought she was, like, kind of like, what do you call it? Technically, my family's
They specifically say, the storm killed them all,
yes,
except for her.
Okay, again, I'll give you an example from Mexico, okay? There are people who call themselves Maya, who are Mayans, technically, but the Mayan civilization was wiped out.
Right.
They're just the descendants of. That's what I thought she was. I didn't know she was Iwi, not just descendant of Iwi.
Again, they specifically said, when Ghidorah's storm happened, Godzilla tried to save her family, and
Godzilla?
they died. I mean, Kong. Yeah. Tried to save her family, tried to save them all, but they all died except for her. They specifically said that.
They did not.
They did.
Liar.
They did.
I don't doubt it. Just goddamn it. Okay, moving on. So,
You missed out on all the plutonium.
I hate you. I mean, I really don't know what more to say about this movie. I mean, it was a good action movie. It didn't have my attention a lot, as you can fucking tell.
You'd like Skull Island. You get Samuel L. Jackson in that one.
Oh, great. We have a lot of fucks.
He gets to try to blow up a motherfucking ape.
Okay, that does sound fun. I'm sorry, but like,
He uses a chain and he whips helicopters out of the sky by hooking them off a chain.
Okay, look, hold on. Okay. Like, it does sound good, but keep in mind, We've had like what 3 or 4 movies up right now that we were told were gonna be awesome, and like only 2 out of the 4 actually were awesome. I went into these with high hopes. I was actually expecting to like these movies. I liked this movie. It just wasn't the greatest movie. It it
Well,
it kind of
you
bored
can't
me.
expect
Kind
it
of
to be
annoyed me.
great. Like, I already knew this one wasn't going to be great going into it, but it was good. It was entertaining. I was engrossed in it, apparently more than you.
Apparently.
Like, I watched every second of this movie. I enjoyed it. Is it the best movie I've seen?
No.
Is it the best movie I've seen this year? No. Is it a movie I would happily watch again? Yes.
I needed more sensible story. This was all over the place. I'm just like, I mean,
Okay. What is a sensible story about giant monsters fighting each other?
okay. Let me put it to you this way, okay? This was. Do you remember Superman Man of Steel? No, Man of Steel with Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Okay, so this kind of reminded me of Superman. Only instead of having a hologram of his father, the only thing we have is Ape Superman going to the middle of the earth and finding the ship that told him about his people. Only there was no dialogue, and it was literally like a silent movie.
Yeah.
No, like
Yeah.
I expected like at least some human dialogue, like how the fuck was this made? This like there are steps on the ground. There is an amphitheater. There's a foyer. I mean, look at those mosaics. They're fucking amazing. Like seriously, some kind of dialogue saying like freaking the Alien movie where they had the what do you call it? The alien, what is it? Space jockey or are they still called space jockeys or
Something like that.
okay? Look, the space jockeys in the ship, and they're like, okay, this depicts this and this and this. No, there we go, Prometheus. This depicts this and this and this and this, and obviously this was important.
Prequel.
Can you let me really? Like, come on. Okay. Anyways.
You're comparing an infinitely worse movie to this one.
Okay. I agree.
And saying it was better because it had a better story?
No, because it had a better explanation.
It retconned an entire franchise!
I didn't say it was good. I just said it did one thing better.
And explain why everything we know about an entire franchise for 40 years was wrong!
But it did it well. No. I'm saying it explained it well. I'm not saying the explanation was any good. There's a difference.
No, it didn't explain shit well.
That's because you didn't read the first draft. I'm being legit. I read the first script. Somebody leaked it online of the Prometheus script.
Okay.
It was good. Hold on, let me finish. It was good, but hold on.
Is that the script?
Let me finish, you evil bastard. Let me finish.
No.
Yes.
No. Is that the script they made the movie with?
They did, but then they had to do reshoots.
Is that the script they made the movie with?
Technically, yes, but then they had to do reshoots.
So that's a no. So, they did not explain anything well. What they explained well was in a script that they did not use for the movie. So yes, the writers of that universe wrote a story that explains things well. But the producers who made a movie out of that universe didn't do any of that.
Now can I finish my story?
Finish all you want.
Good.
But
now.
I'm right.
No, you're not. You're not right.
Is
No.
the script that was used
anyways,
for
so
that
what I was
movie.
saying was that they actually did an explanation. Okay, it was bad explanation, badly written. Okay, I'll give you that. The one from the actual first draft was better, but then it got predicted, so they literally had to scrap it out the door and write some other bullshit, which was not as good, unfortunately. Now, the entire scene, though, did a good, decent job of explaining the symbolism, trying to at least, and get something out of it. They did none of that here. That's what I'm getting at. You're literally pulling shit out of your ass of explanation made even less sense than Prometheus did.
No.
Yes,
No.
it did.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
We saw no spaceships for these Kong giant ape people, okay? We only saw, like, literally the only advanced technology we saw was being able to be stoneworkers or stonemasons or whatever, and that axe. Legit. That's the only things we saw.
Okay. And what genius thing did we learn in Prometheus? We learned the Prometheus school of running away from things.
Motherfucker.
Where
Hold on.
you never dodge to the left or the right. You keep running lengthways down the thing that's falling towards you.
To be fair, and I'm being serious. I'm not making a joke. I'm being serious. To be fair, okay? Depending on how far it is, you may not be able to outrun it either way. Now, I agree. Who was it? Was it Stone?
I forget who was crushed by the ship.
It was the blonde.
Well, like, she survived, but you could see the shadow the entire time. Even at its closest point. Fucking time warp this shit. It's just a jump to the left.
Motherfucker.
And you would have survived!
Okay.
But no! What? How big is the thing that's falling? Oh, it's a mile long. I'm gonna run the length as it falls in a straight line and hope I get to the end before it hits the ground.
Okay, if we're gonna talk movie logic, we're never gonna end. So I think we can both agree there's bad logic in different things. Right. This was just bad writing. Can we agree on that at least?
No.
Fuck you! The plutonium was not strong in this thing!
The plutonium was super strong in this thing.
No, it was not.
The thing is, see, you're using plutonium-234.
Motherfucker.
But you forgot because you skipped out on the plutonium-232.
I'm gonna kick you right now.
You missed Skull Island. That has journal entries and cave paintings and an explanation. A lot of this dumb shit is actually referenced in that movie. You also have to really pay attention to arguably the worst movie in this franchise, Godzilla 2014. Because they also have a lot of the dumb shit that references a lot of this crap that you had to pay attention to because it's background shit on whiteboards in a room. Now, if you get rid of all of that plutonium, you get chunks of this one, chunks of this one, and you watch King of the Monsters, there's even more chunks of plutonium that you got to absorb in, and then you make this hybrid super plutonium.
God damn it.
And that is Godzilla versus Kong. You need all the pieces to understand the one. You're missing a chunk, so you don't understand any of it.
And yet you still pulled space apes out of your ass.
Because it makes sense.
No, it does not. Oh God, no.
Does it?
Okay.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Okay, we're doing a disservice to our viewers. Just let's continue. God
But the service to our viewers loves our dumb shit. This is what this is.
Like, comment, and subscribe. No, I'm kidding.
Please share. Get your friends. Make 5 or 6 accounts.
What the
Play our videos while you sleep. Please. We need 4,000 hours of watched content.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, monetization rules are a bitch.
Moving on. Okay, so we're probably gonna cut that out. Just
But we're gonna leave that in.
motherfucker. Ah, let's see. What else was there? Like I didn't really have a problem with like Hollow Earth, the reverse gravitational thing where people tried to go in there themselves before, and then they literally got crushed by a reverse gravitational pull because of going through the center of the Earth. That made no sense to me.
I think the thing is they hit that wormhole, and they were falling, and then they were flying. I don't think they were crushed by the gravity so much as they were thrown against the floor because it used to be the ceiling.
No, see that I could understand, but the way they phrased it, it made it
They
sound like
phrased it that way because from whatever instruments they were using to measure it, that's what would make sense. Is all of a sudden the gravity, and crushed. What crushed them? Well, gravity crushed them. Why did gravity crush them? Because they appeared 100 feet off the ground when what they thought was they were 5 feet off the ground. And really, they were 5 feet away from the ceiling and 100 feet from the floor, because the floor became the ceiling and the ceiling became the floor.
I get that. That makes a hell of a lot more sense than, oh my god, it was a black hole. No,
Well, the black hole is that veil. So they hit the black hole.
we're not
and all
talking
of a
about
sudden,
that again. No, just no.
No,
That
that's the inversion point. When they hit that and shot out the other side, they stopped going down and started going up. So they flew out and slammed backwards.
okay. Just moving on. So
And you kind of see that with the anti-grav shifts. Remember when they were flying out and all of a sudden they had to like full reverse thrust? Because
Yeah.
they were falling. They were flying a second ago.
okay, and then basically the monorail thing that went underneath the Earth or through the Earth, I don't know, from where was it in the U.S.?
Pensacola, Florida.
From Florida to Hong Kong. No,
Yep.
no.
That's one of the. It's plausible.
It's plausible, but like freaking Elon Musk said, it's a proof of concept. No.
Well, it's something they were designed in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Like, it's a plausible concept. The problem is, it would take a shitload of money. The technology is almost there, so I can see them doing it. But it would take a shitload of money.
Like, okay, like, maybe, but at the same time, it's a lot easier and a lot more cost effective to just build, what's it called, a maglev train across the country. So they could literally take it to freaking.
But that's what they did.
No, that I said across the country. You're talking about it underneath the ground, through, through freaking oceans.
Right. There's a sealed tunnel. It's a sealed tunnel.
Okay, one thing I learned from the channel is when you dig that deep, okay, it gets hot, especially in small spaces, and freaking what do you call it? Friction with air going that fast. It might be what's it called? It might
Let's
be
assume they
air.
didn't dig.
What do you mean they didn't dig?
What if they just lay the tunnel on the bottom of the ocean?
It would still get supremely hot, and they wouldn't be able to pull all the air out.
No.
What do you mean no?
You pull the air out first. A sealed vacuum tube is not subject to pressure because it's a sealed vacuum tube. So if you build the sections, vacuum all the air out, and sink it. And then put the next section, and the next section, and the next section, and the next section. You seal the two ends, put them together, and you break the seals as you go. So the very first journey It's gonna take like a fucking week because it's gonna be a bunch of guys in a car driving from one end to the other, cutting all those seals out. But they don't have to worry about decompression because there's no pressure on either side of the seal. Because they're in a vacuum.
Okay, but you would need a structure that can both withstand the pressure, the inverse pressure of a vacuum, and the immense pressure of the ocean on top of it.
Like the hull of a nuclear submarine?
We're talking about on the ground. No submarine can go that deep unless it's ready to die.
Dude, they can rest at the bottom of the ocean. They can't go to the bottom of the Marianas Trench. They can hit the seafloor.
Which seafloor? There are multiple elevations. I'm not talking Marianas Trench either. I'm talking about like having to be able to go through variable pressures over and over again, and then be able to resist the inverse pressure of having no atmospheres.
Right. You see, you're also forgetting an important point of this movie in their construction program. In 3 years, 4 years, they built a giant Godzilla replica.
Fair point.
So, they can build a working, functional, 1-to-1 scale Godzilla that also has a working laser cannon. You don't think that maybe they can make a pressurized tube that runs through the Pacific Ocean?
Look, they can't make a pill to make you like really, really smart or like resistant to Alzheimer's and dementia into your golden years, but they can make a pill that can make you harder than Chinese algebra.
Right. Because that benefits rich old people.
How does a Mecha Godzilla benefit rich old people?
Who runs the world's governments?
He was Latino.
Was he over the age of 50?
I don't know, he kind of looked like it, maybe.
His daughter is Isaac Gonzalez. She's at least 30, so yeah.
Yeah, fine, touche.
So, rich old guy.
Okay, moving on.
Capitalism, my friend. Capitalism. It can do anything.
In Mother Russia, capitalism fucks you.
It fucks everybody.
No, stop. Just no. Moving on.
Moving on.
Just I really don't think there's really much more to say about this movie. Like I said, I would have preferred some kind of explanation scene, a little more humanity, a little less jump all over the place. But yeah.
It is what it is. It's a movie about giant monsters fighting each other. You don't need explanation. Godzilla and Kong, they fought each other for centuries. And now they're doing it again. They set that up in the first 5 minutes of the movie and kept it going for an hour and 53 minutes.
We're not.
You don't need any more explanation when they explain the entire plot within the first 5 minutes.
Like
Kong fights Godzilla.
I just want
centuries.
more.
You expect too much from kaiju movies.
Okay, some kaiju.
I can sum up the last 60 years of Godzilla for you.
God damn it.
Giant radioactive lizard blows shit up because it's pissed off because it's a giant radioactive lizard.
And causes property values to fall in Tokyo.
Right. But
Really? Not even.
okay, but we got what, 20 movies out of that? Very, very, very loose premise with no explanation other than giant radioactive lizard destroy shit because giant radioactive lizard.
Depends on which movies, because there's
And
one
then
that
every now and then they throw another monster in there just so they can get the giant monster to fight the giant monster.
But it also depends on the series of movies, because one series has Godzilla as some sort of like protective spirit monster thing that's worshipped and like can be controlled by humans in some way. Others are just he's a nuclear experiment gone wrong. Then others are like he's
You mean kind of like they set up in these movies?
motherfucker.
Because 2014 was he's a nuclear experiment gone wrong.
I thought they said that was bullshit.
Yep. They're learning. At the beginning, nuclear experiment gone wrong, and he fights a trash monster.
I thought he was the trash monster.
No.
Okay, fine. No, I'm mixing movies. No, that's my fault. Sorry. Continue.
And then from there, we go on to King of Monsters, where he's this protector entity who protects the people because they're people, because he needs them to recharge because they make nuclear waste.
That was not in the movie.
That's his movie. That's King of Monsters. And then we go on to this movie where we find out where he doesn't need people to make the nuclear waste because there is a perfect form of energy that will recharge him faster and more efficiently. That's always been there, but he lost his way of getting it. Because remember, he didn't know where it was until Kong activated the thing with his axe.
That's some other bullshit. But
If we think of it in terms of a nuclear reactor, he had to turn on the activation key, which was slotting the axe into its handle. Once he slotted the axe in the hole, and the whole chamber started glowing, all of a sudden Godzilla knows where it is. Digs a hole, goes straight to it. And now he's stronger than he's ever been. Except for those few minutes at the end of King of Monsters where he was turbocharged by, 6 nuclear reactors detonating in his face. And Mothra just giving him her everything.
that kind of sounded dirty.
It was supposed to be.
Motherfucker. Okay. Those were better written. This was not.
You have to put this as the ending chapter to those. Like, you can't think of them as separate. You have to think of it as a whole.
You realize how weak that is, right?
No.
Okay.
It's a continuing saga of movies. You
Let me
can't
put it-
separate them.
Let me put it this way.
Like,
Okay?
look at the Star Wars movies.
Motherfucker.
There are 9 of them. Well, technically, there are 12. One no one talks about. Christmas special. 2.
That was not a movie.
Technically. 2 of them are okay. They work well on their own, so they don't need to be part of it. That's Solo and New Hope. Not New Hope.
Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Solo was horrible.
Good enough.
Yeah.
And then we've got the triple trilogies. Any one of those movies is shitty on its own.
I disagree.
They are all poorly written movies.
I disagree.
But, as a group, the original trilogy, 4, 5, 6 are amazing, but you have to see them as a whole.
I disagree.
The prequel trilogy, 1, 2, and 3, horrible movies. The second one especially. The second one's the worst of them all. Like, die. Like, yes, die. Like, whoever wrote that movie, I know who wrote that movie, but he deserves death for writing it.
No.
But, as a whole, the prequel trilogy, pretty good. But, you have to see as a whole. And the sequel trilogy. Okay, the second one of those is the only good one. But you need it to be a whole to realize how shitty it is.
Just
compared to all the others.
No, hold on. No. Okay, the original trilogy, 4, 5, and 6, they were good standalones. Yes, they needed the story to continue. They needed all three, but they were, they were good enough to be standalone movies. If they were standalone movies, they didn't have any connection to 4 or 6 and such, they would have been fine. But they were still well written enough that you don't need the others.
So, the beginning of Return of the Jedi. How does that make sense if you don't know who Han Solo is?
Let me put it to you this way. I'm being legit. Okay? I watched these movies out of order as a kid.
Right.
I watched Return of the Jedi first. I didn't know who the fuck Han Solo was. I was just like, why is he stuck in the carbonite? And then I learned later on, he was just stuck in the carbonite. Okay? They just needed him, and then they completed their mission. Okay? You didn't need to know anything. Then I watched 4. I'm like, okay, how did he get stuck in the carbonite? Because I didn't know that this one came after. It was still a good movie, standalone. I was happy with it.
Right.
So there's a standalone. He was stuck in carbonite. Who fucking cares? He still made a badass guy. I hate Harrison Ford, but I love Han Solo. Moving on. You don't, as long as it's well written enough in order to cut most loose ends, you're fine to tell its story.
Right. But that's how they used to write movies.
That's how they should write movies.
They stopped doing that when they decided that the fucking Lord of the Rings needed to be 4 movies, The Hobbit needed to be 5 movies. Like, when they started taking good books and turning into extended movies, it became bad. I know Lord of the Rings is only 3 movies, but technically it's 6 movies because the extended editions. But The Hobbit. Okay, so the Lord of the Rings, they made 3 movies of. 3 3-hour-long movies, 9 hours, to do a 2,000-page book. The Hobbit is a 200-page book. How the fuck is that 5 movies?
It wasn't 5 movies, it was 3, I believe.
4, I think.
No, it was Desolation of Smaug. It was
There was The Hobbit.
The Hobbit.
Desolation of Smaug, 5 armies.
Yeah, that's it.
3. It's how? How did we do 2,000 pages is 9 hours long. 200 pages is 9 hours long.
Dude, they did take some liberties. Not a lot, but they did.
Like Legolas.
And what's her name?
Exactly.
Tywin? Something like Torin.
Badly written movie.
No.
Badly written. They extended it. They added shit that didn't need to be there.
I'm not disagreeing. Hear me out, okay? Badly written, but more like good written movie, badly written additions.
Good written book, badly written movies. The Harry Potter movies.
Oh God, why did you have to bring Harry Potter into this?
Why? Why are there 8 of them for 7 books?
Because money?
Exactly.
Then why were they better written?
They weren't.
They were. They were self-contained stories.
But you know why they were self-contained stories?
Because they were books.
Right. You know why Godzilla didn't work as that way? It's not a book.
We've seen Godzilla movies together before. Okay, I'm talking about the original Toho.
But that's right, there is a Toho. Like
those were self-contained.
But you have to think how they're doing the new movies. We count Kong movies. We have 4 movies. 4 movies to retell 60 years of filmmaking. It's gonna be poorly written.
I was thinking more like 10.
No. You gotta get all of Godzilla, all of King Kong. Now that's Kong. Kong 1938, 1973, what was it, 2000?
2000.
2000, and Skull Island, which was like 2012, I think it was.
Around there.
2016? No, it came out after 2014. Yeah. Like 2015, 2016, somewhere there. So we got those Kong movies. And then you have the Kong versus Godzilla, which was, what, 60s, 70s? So we got 5 Kong movies. Spread out over
decades.
50 some odd years. And then we have, 60, 70 years. It started in the 30s. 70 years of filmmaking. Just for 5 Kong movies. And then we have Godzilla. What, the first Godzilla movie came out in 1951? So from 1951 until 2021. What, 70, 80 years of filmmaking?
Okay.
Now you have to cram all of that lore, all of that, interconnect it all, and do it in 4 movies.
Okay, to be fair, with Godzilla, okay, just Godzilla, I'm not even including Kong, okay? They did start including some of the lore, little bits. I'm not talking about the whole thing here and there, into the other movies that Legendary's making with Warner? No.
Yes.
Yeah, Warner. Okay, so they're including little tidbits here and there. Okay, little homages to the original movies with Toho.
Right.
Now, the thing is, they don't need to, because they are making their own thing. They are writing their own path, quote unquote, into the universe of this monster thing. They are. Come on, they are. They are taking hella liberties.
They are, but they want Toho to be behind it. They want Toho blessing on it, which means they can't bastardize it. Because Warner Brothers did that once.
Once?
1998.
No. I'm saying, I agree with you. Once, though.
They learned their fucking lessons, didn't they?
Okay, I agree with you partly there, okay? But legit, they do not have to include every little thing, because there are contradictions in the lore. There are.
Right. They don't have to include every little thing, but they have to include as much as possible. And they always have to assume this is the last movie we're making because we're not going to make another one. Because if you spend $200 million on a movie and it doesn't make $500 million, you don't make another one.
Yeah.
That's just how Hollywood works now. It's not break even. You got to make profit.
But you also need a self-contained story. The Toho ones were, they built upon themselves, they did, but they were self-contained stories within each one and had different lore that contradicted itself through the years.
Right. But you're looking at this as an actual moviegoer like you've not seen anything. You want this to be its own movie that you don't need to know what Godzilla or King Kong are. This is a well-written, full plot, full story movie where you understand everything start to finish. It's part of a series. You have to watch the other movies to watch this one. Or you have to turn your fucking brain off and then, big monkey fight big lizard. Those are your two options. You either watch this as part of a series where you understand all of the series, or big money. There is no third option. You want there to be a third option. There are two.
Our future reality and substitute my own.
Your own sons.
I disagree.
Too bad.
Fuck you. Okay, I think we're done here. So, no, like legit, we've been beating a dead horse at this point.
True, but it's fun. Like we gotta have these discussions every now and then.
No, I agree. I'm just,
It shows that we have differing opinions on how we understand this shit and what we enjoy. Like, I enjoyed this movie not for its lore. I enjoyed this movie because Big Monkey fought Big Lizard.
And I didn't enjoy this movie because it's not self-contained.
But I like it because I could make up my own backstory. And my backstory is awesome.
And full of shit.
But it's awesome.
Okay, anyways. Just thank you for listening to us, ladies and gentlemen, and we hope you had fun.
Bye-bye. Join us next time.
Remember, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Fuck you, people.
Bye-bye.
Bye.